we're going to unpack one of the most fascinating geographic paradoxes on the planet. I want you to imagine a place armed with one of the absolute greatest, deepest, and most perfectly sheltered natural harbors on Earth. A place that, back in the 1800s, was a wealthy, undeniably global maritime titan. By all accounts, it really should have become the undisputed economic and cultural anchor of Canada's East Coast. Yet somehow, its population stalled out, and it spent almost the entire 20th century economically sidelined.
Okay, let's dive into this. How exactly does a province with such massive geographic potential, a place practically flush with wealth and status in the 19th century, end up trapped? Well, the answer we're going to uncover today involves a giant river, some of the harshest ocean weather on the planet, and a truly bizarre geopolitical border that effectively locked it out of continental success.
Because, as we're summarizing here, Nova Scotia's physical terrain is simultaneously its greatest historic asset and its absolute ultimate limiting factor. It's a landmass that juts aggressively out into the North Atlantic. For centuries, its position on the water was a massive blessing. But as the world shifted its focus away from the ocean and toward the continent, well, this near-island status became a trap.
Section 1. The Near-Island Fortress.
Calling Nova Scotia a peninsula almost feels like an understatement, and this really brilliantly illustrates exactly why. Nova Scotia is tethered to the rest of North America by a remarkably fragile, incredibly narrow strip of land called the Isthmus of Chignecto. At its narrowest point, it is barely 15 miles wide. That's it. Just 15 miles of low-lying marshland separates Nova Scotia from being completely physically detached from the rest of the continent. And as we'll see, this near-island status would eventually become a profound psychological and logistical barrier. But you simply cannot understand Nova Scotia without understanding the ocean that batters it. It sits directly in the crosshairs of one of the most volatile and, frankly, aggressive maritime environments on the entire planet. Right off the coast, the freezing cold waters of the Labrador Current sweeping down from the Arctic slam directly into the warm tropical waters of the Gulf Stream pushing up from the south. And when these two massive ocean conveyors collide, they create a terrifyingly unpredictable weather system. The most immediate result of that massive thermal clash? Fog. Thick, dense, cancel all your plans, ship-swallowing fog. Halifax actually experiences an average of over 120 foggy days every single year. But fog is just a visual hurdle, right? This thermal clash is the exact engine for the infamous nor'easter. Because Nova Scotia juts out so incredibly far east, it basically acts like a giant catcher's mitt for massive North Atlantic storms, constantly battering the coast with hurricane-force winds and freezing rain. And then,